The man behind the mic of Red Sings the Blues, that is who I'm sitting down with. Welcome back to another episode of Miltrick Media. Red Sings the Blues, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. What's up?
Nothing much. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's good to be here, man. We haven't seen each other, for a couple of weeks at work?
At least, yeah. We met at work for freelancing. We work at numerous live venues throughout the city. And we both found out, like, probably a couple months in, like, oh, shit, you do podcasting? Yeah. And it's like, Who knows? The collaboration we never knew would have happened.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm Red Sings the Blues. I'm man behind the mic of Red Sings the Blues. That needs to be edited out because I said that once or twice. So
yeah.
Man behind the mic of Red Sings the Blues. The podcast name is Red Sings the Blues. You can find me on YouTube. I am currently now at half of 5,000 subscribers. So, it's been 2 years worth of work. I upload every single day.
Yeah.
So, it's all good in the neighborhood when it comes down to, like social commentary, nerd stuff, entertainment industry stuff. We do talk about relationship dynamics, but I really don't talk about that as much anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's saturated, so I don't really do that stuff anymore.
So at Red Sings the Blues, your podcast and your YouTube channel, you post like an animal. You're posting every single day, times a day. You're uploading constant clips. What made you get into that posting frequency? What made you realize, all right, I'm going to post this much every day to help the channel grow?
Well, first things first, I think when I started doing podcasting, first things first, I didn't really have a clue what to do in podcasting. I thought I needed like a big ass studio like we're in right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought I needed like $1 million cameras and stuff like that. But when you're in my house, because that's where I do it in my house, I have like a Rodecaster Pro, a Shure SM7B that cost me about like maybe $500,000, right? So it didn't really, you can start a podcast with just like a built-in, microphone and just a recording and start there. But like, honestly, you want to get like professional equipment, all right? But the main thing about, YouTube is that YouTube is a consistent sort of platform, right? So like, consistently doing it every day for like the modern, content creator, you want to do that, right? But like I see channels that do like off the start 0 subscribers, then they go up to like 100,000 views, but it depends on the type of topic that you're doing, right? But for me, because I'm a social commentator and there's so much to talk about every single day, then I do that because there's a lot of trending topics out there. I mean, with the advent of like TikTok and all those other like third stream platforms, right? There's so much like buffoonery going out like that's being recorded. So it's like I have material all day. So it's just like, why miss a day of work when there's a whole bunch of topics that I can talk about that's happening not only on TikTok, but off of mainstream media. You know what I'm saying?
That could be a 24/7 work cycle because, with the advent of all these social media platforms, and like you said, there's always something new going on in terms of social commentary, the world in general. Yeah. And that is a niche, that is an industry, and that's a category where there's going to always be an influx of new content.
Right, yeah.
Is that what made you want to choose that category, or did you just stumble upon it naturally?
No, well, what's funny about, the podcast in general is that I've been on YouTube like more than once, right? But I've been more or less like in the nosebleed seat, so to speak. But like back in the day, there were social commentators that were like, my favorite social commentators, right? There was a guy, he was like an Asian dude, and this was like back in 07, 08, like when I was really on YouTube. His name was Tian Pan. And then there was another one called Big Al, right? I kind of took those inspirations. Like I watched their commentary and, they were funny and giddy. And it was like, the time when YouTube was just a baby, right? And then, when I really started to, like, I had second thoughts, but I was in college and actually thinking about doing a podcast. Didn't think about it, you know what I'm saying? But I was watching guys like The Quartering, Some Black Guy. I was watching Tim Pool. I was watching a lot of those guys. This was during like the 2016 when all that other stuff happened, right? And then 2020 when everything shut down, I was out of work, right? So, I just said, you know what? Might as well just do it, right? Just get up there, do it. And, that's how I kind of got into that. So I, during the whole pandemic, I decided to basically, record, live stream every day. Then I found out that, live streaming was more of a waste of my time and a waste of my energy. Now, not saying that I don't live stream. I live stream most weekdays and certain weekends when I don't have work. But I think the fact of the matter is when I started uploading, I started seeing more of a YouTube search and YouTube traffic, which again has been going crazy on my channel right now.
Yeah, yeah. So you mentioned how even a lot. So you mentioned recent activity. A big driver is YouTube search, YouTube advertising metrics, and you could see all that in your channel content, the part called analytics. I've noticed even on a couple of videos, a couple of them just popped off and got views at where they got views where it was unusual at the time for me on my channel. And I was like, oh, wow, where did this maybe come from? And it came from, let's say, YouTube search. Have you noticed that on your videos too? YouTube search helps push out some videos.
So like if I can, so if you go on your like YouTube studio, right? This is my YouTube studio. I'll show you. So basically, this is going to be your best friend when you're going on.
And if you want, you can show the camera or only me, whatever you're comfortable with.
So basically, this is going to be your best friend. If you're on YouTube, this is your best friend. So right now, I can tell you my whole thing, but if you see like the understanding your performance, it literally tells you what videos are being trafficked on the channel and what's happening. So basically what's happening with me is that viewers are watching my videos from a YouTube search, which is 103%, and then viewers watch my videos from recommendation. So basically, like, you want to consistently look at, not only what's going on in the world, but like third stream platforms like World Star Hip Hop, TikTok, all those things, because again, those are going to be the traffic, like those clips and those things that are happening on those platforms. Those are what other social commentators are talking about. You know what I'm saying? There's like a political social commentary that goes on. And am I political? Not as much, but there is a little bit of politics in there because I'm a libertarian. But, I try to, talk about society in general with what's going on with these TikToks and what's happening on World Star, what's happening with, certain news outlets that are, like trending news outlets and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And that's what's been really, growing the channel. People have been, and what also kind of grows the channel, and I think what people don't seem to understand is the comments that I get, right? And it's funny because the thing about it is that, I would have quit, the whole YouTube thing had it not been for people consistently putting likes in the video. They keep on subscribing to the channel and they keep on commenting on the thing, whether it be good or bad, whether it be a like or dislike, it helps the algorithm. And that's how you, get to the whole blowing up or surging in YouTube algorithm. So every single time somebody leaves a like or a shitty comment or something like that, I still get the money and I still get the bump up in the algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. And when it comes to YouTube engagement and what's best on the platform, if people are liking and loving your videos, if they're leaving comments, respond to them. Interact with them. That helps the algorithm. But when it comes to negative comments, what do you think? Do you think that if you decide not to interact with negative comments, will that hurt the algorithm? Or with that, you don't have to worry about?
No, I don't have to worry about it because the main thing that I wanted my channel to do was to open a discussion, to have a discussion. And most of the time, people are leaving like paragraphs on my channel. They're leaving like essays and shit, which I actually read. It's funny to me because it's just like, dude, I don't have time to read this. But sometimes when I'm like on my break at work, I usually read it. Yeah. I'm just like, Jesus, man.
Because I've always interacted and liked the positive comments. I've engaged back because that's going to help your video performance. But I've had some negative comments on some videos and I just don't even interact because it's not even worth the time.
Yeah.
I got to keep working. I got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I've talked to people, new creators, where they question like, oh, what are best practices on YouTube? So another great question I just thought of, I wanted to ask you this about analytics and even when it comes to dissecting your YouTube statistics.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned how with some of your videos, you're getting traffic from YouTube search and YouTube recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
First, let's talk about YouTube search.
Mm-hmm.
What is that when your video is being recommended by YouTube search or that's a source of traffic? What is YouTube search?
Okay, so basically a YouTube search is honestly, it's more or less what people are trying to find on YouTube or like Google. So basically, since YouTube is Google in a nutshell, right? People are searching up, Google terms, and usually they would give them YouTube videos, right? Because they were hand in hand. YouTube and Google are one and the same. But when you talk about a YouTube search, it's a vague term. But like for example, the recent video I just put out, which was like a DoorDash driver getting fired by this woman who wanted a Chipotle burrito for free. So basically, like, what you want to hit on when it comes down to analytics is basically you want to hit on the search, the main term, which is what people are going to be searching up, which is like DoorDash driver and customer, right? That's the buzz terms that you want to hit on, all right? Then what you want to do with your YouTube video is you want to put tags in it. The main thing about a YouTube search is that it's not going to pick it up if you don't have tags and you don't have hashtags, right? The main part about this, and I started learning this, is that when you put tags in your stuff, like, for example, when you look at my videos, the main ones that I'm going to use are World Star Hip Hop, TikTok, Instagram Live, these sorts of things, because that has a traffic of videos on it, and people are going to be looking for those videos, right? And what the tags do in the YouTube search is that if you spelled something wrong within the video, the YouTube tag system basically puts that video in that same category of what people are trying to search up. You know what I'm saying?
Those tags that you just mentioned, so you're putting that in the bottom of your those tags you mentioned, you're putting that in the bottom of the video description, or you're putting that in the hashtag section?
So I do it both ways. So I do the hashtag section that needs to be edited out. That needs to be
I fumbled a little bit too. All good.
We were all fumbling. So basically the hashtags you want to put in the description, all right? Then what you want to do is go to the tag section, all right? And the tags are usually like the name of the video, who you want. Like my traffic is basically almost everybody that I've come in contact with or I haven't come in contact with. However, the audience that most of my audience, views, like, because again, your YouTube analytics is going to show what, channels are being watched by other people. And usually they're people within like the 100, 200,000 subscriber counts, right? And usually lower than that. But still they're up in your algorithm. So you want to hit on, the people. You also want to compete with the people, but you also want to compete with, the hashtags and the tags that people are using. Half the time, I've seen, because when I was my first year, I didn't know what I was doing. All right. But then I started, making my thumbnails better. I started putting myself in the thumbnail, you know what I'm saying? And then what I also started doing is putting hashtags in there, which boosted it up. Then what also happened was I started using tags, what I recently started doing, and I actually started seeing a lot more in my YouTube search. I started seeing a lot more in views and subscriber count because of the people that are searching these trending topics up. That's also another thing that kind of boosted my channel up. Like, if you're a YouTube content creator, I think the most important thing is to ask yourself, what kind of commentator do you want to be? Because again, when I started Red Sings the Blues, I was a part of the manosphere, right? I was a part of like the space of men. And the one thing that I did was try to help young men, right? I made a lot of videos regarding, what young men should do and stuff like that before I even got into social commentary. Did I do social commentary? Yes. Did I want to do social commentary? I was like, whatever. But then I started seeing all the stuff that I was missing, right? I started seeing all the missed opportunity. But as I started doing social commentary, a lot of people picked me up. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bigger YouTube channels like Coach Greg Adams picked me up. A lot of, a lot of people with like 100, 200,000 subscribers started shouting my channel out, which was funny. Right. I was like, I'm just a small content creator. Like, what do you want with me?
Yeah.
But as my channel grows, as people find my channel, it's very interesting. The new people that I get, the weird people that I get, but the base of people that I've been having, like shout out to Broman Clash and Club Fortune and AJ Taylor. Those guys have been my, those guys have been my guys since like the start of my podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They've been loyal to my podcast since day one. And, I'm cool that, if I have 3 to 4 to 5 people just watching my podcast, I'm fine with it. But as the commentary grows, as the discussion grows, there are a lot more people that want my head. So I'm kind of glad with that.
But if you're a content creator, having that loyal following makes all the difference. And that's great, having a loyal following in anything you do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And you mentioned how I've seen on your channel, you have channel members and you shout them out and you put them at the forefront of your channel where you're giving them praise back for supporting you. So how does that work for YouTube content creators, and how has that helped your channel? So you're putting channel members, you're shouting them out. How does that work, and how do you do that on your page?
So when you have a channel that has 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 view hours, I think it is, you start to open up, you know, the AdSense, right? So you start getting AdSense when you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 YouTube hours, right? So you have to make that quota, which I did in a year and a half. So when you have the join button, right, when you have the join feature, basically what that is like Patreon or like Subscribe Star or something like that, right? Where people become members of your channel, which never happened on YouTube. The reason why they did it is because YouTube became a live streaming platform, right? You can live stream on YouTube. So now people have join buttons so that you can become a member for like what, $2.99, $5. You negotiate the number, right? So like for me, you can become a member of my channel for $2.99, $5.99, and $9.99, right? I don't really, you know, go up with that price, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But with that, you know, the new features that they have on YouTube, because you know, I knew my people that, you know, started to come into my channel, right? They started joining my channel. What I use my YouTube join button for is for my old live streams that I've done, the case studies in which I've done, because I've done a lot of research studies and stuff like that with you know, mental health and all that other stuff. And yeah, that's what I've been using my join button for. I still got to get the Patreon and locals going because I want to do movie reviews as like a side thing, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, you know, we've been talking about movies and stuff like that. So I want to do that when I start getting up there to like 100 to 1 million subscribers, you know? But, you know, in time.
And you've been talking about what you just mentioned with channel members.
Yeah. Well, with channel members, it's like, you know, like people decide, like you got to give people a choice at the end of the day, right? If people like you and they rock with you, they're going to become a member, right? Like people want to give people a reason to want to join your channel, give people a reason to want to subscribe to your channel, right? You got to do that, you know? If you don't want to do that, that's fine. But, you know, then your YouTube channel doesn't grow, right? But the reason why I'm getting, you know, more and more people onto my channel and more people is because of the connections that I've made, whether they be good or bad, the comments that I've been getting, whether they be good or bad, the search results, and everything adds up, right? So that's the type of thing about YouTube in which I started to learn, is that it's a long-term business. People on YouTube want to, you know, blow up and become YouTube famous. But that, although it'll get you money, don't get me wrong, it will. But like YouTube, and as I found out, it's like, okay, you have your rise to greatness and then your slow decline. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't, you know, like there's that one point in life where you're going to hit your YouTube fame. And then after a while, it just keeps on going down. But for me, it's not about YouTube fame. It's about establishing a long-term business and a long-term discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like what's going on within the world, you know? Hey, as long as I can keep it up, you know, that's what I'm going to do. And I love being a part of the podcast discussion, and I love doing this sort of thing. And I started to really like this sort of thing. So might as well, you know, keep on doing it. Right.
Yeah. And exactly what you said. And that made me want to touch on a point. You have to get people to love consuming your content.
Right.
If they fall in love with consuming your content, that's another way that you could grow and build a loyal following on these platforms.
Right, yeah.
It's got to be high quality. And you also got to love what you're doing because that enthusiasm shows through the content you're putting out.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Always, man. I think with me also is that people love the, a lot of people just love the discussions that I have, man, because that's what I've been hearing. You know, a lot of people have been saying, man, you know, like they've been leaving like long paragraphs. Like again, people leave long paragraphs on my channel and I just read them. I'm just like, damn, these are like essays, man. Like, can you just give me the spark notes to this thing, man? Like you could just leave us. I love the short comments, but the long comments are the ones that get me.
But it shows that you care because some people don't even check those kinds of comments.
Yeah, it just shows that people, and I also kind of know that, you know, people on these sorts of platforms, they've been on them for like a really long time, right? But, you know, these people, you know, they want a larger discussion, right? They want to have a larger discussion. You know, so, I open up the StreamYard for people, you know what I'm saying? I have like an hour If I get money, it's a 2-hour stream. Like if I get like 20, $30, 2-hour stream, like right off the bat. Okay, I don't care. You give me money and it'll be a 2-hour stream, right? All what matters though, but what really matters though is the money. Now I'm playing, but what really matters to me is having the discussion, because I think a lot of people in this type of culture, they want to cancel people, right? We live in this cancel culture. The one thing that I always try to do with my content is not even try to shock people. It's just try to start a discussion. Okay, let's try to get to the nitty gritty of things. Whether or not people like me or not, like I don't care if I'm liked. I care about the discussion, like I care about the not even the middle ground, but just what is the solution to this? Like how do we solve this? And if I can't solve it, I mean, at least we had the discussion so that somebody else will be like, okay, now I think I can, kind of get the idea, piggyback off of this idea,
Mm-hmm. And I noticed too, YouTube is a long game. They want to reward creators for being consistent over a long period of time. And the more you're putting out content, the more audiences they could possibly show your channel to, and that could help you grow. I've learned that they want to reward you. They want people to constantly create. And I even noticed with shorts, analytics on my channel, it's caused there to be more views. Of course, you don't necessarily know the quality of the viewer, and that doesn't always translate to subscribers, but I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still new to the game as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I'm getting into the habit of just creating more short form content because I love it because I'm trying to make something on my own.
Right. Yeah.
That's my favorite part. I'm trying to make something on my own. I want to ask you this because now you've been a content creator for a couple of years now. Well, longer than that, but like what we talked about with the podcast.
Yeah.
Advice to new content creators. Advice to new content creators. How can someone grow their channel from 0 to 1,000 subscribers?
All right. So from 0 to 1,000 subscribers. Well, for me, right, I would say not even to be a podcaster. Like, first off, it would be the topic that you want to do, right? Like, if you want to be a hobby channel or something like that, get good at the hobby. Like, I mean, like even outside of my podcasting, I watch like bass guitar channels, and I watch, like actual commentary channels. Like, there's a person I watch called Short Fat Otaku and Aiden Paladine. They have longer content, which is a lot more educational, right? But like for podcasters, right, it is more or less, if you really want to get into that, right, you want to, what I would then say, from 0 to 100 or 100 to 1,000, right? For me, it was, who I knew, right? So I knew a lot of people like Solo TV84. I knew people like Minister Jap. I knew people like DJ Kuda. I knew people like them, and they gave me the what I would say the chance, and their audience knew my audience, so that's how I started to gain that. And for me, I would say like consistently make content every day. Now, there's a cheat code for every YouTube channel, and most of it would be like to have like a very hot woman do something for you, and you get like 50 to 100,000 views, but that works, But I mean, that's beside the point. But if you really want to do this stuff long term, I would then say, like, I watched this guy on YouTube called Jamari, and that's one guy I got to interview on my channel. But the one thing that I learned from him is that make your stuff entertaining, all right? Because that's going to be the one thing that keeps people staying or coming back, is that your stuff is entertaining, okay? The one thing, I mean, a catchy name is, the catchy name, Red Sings the Blues, that's a catchy name. But if my stuff wasn't entertaining, I'd still be at like, 50 to 100 subscribers. I wouldn't even have a few hundred to a few 50 views, right? Right now, I have I estimate to about a few hundred to a few thousand views, right? And some of them skyrocketed to almost 100,000 views. But the main thing that I would say is that, check your, YouTube Studio is your friend. Don't get addicted to it, but it is your friend. Learn from YouTube Studio. Learn from your old content as well, right? Because another thing that people seem to forget is that your content, just like you, has to evolve, right? If you're doing this long term, you have to evolve your content, right? Now, for me, if you look at my old content, I used to look like an orange Oompa Loompa. I didn't have this stuff, right? I didn't even have a good microphone. Then I started to, because I had, a day where I just had like, I just ate from Burger King because I paid for, my Rodecaster and my Shure SM7B. And that is now making me money, right? That's now making me $200 to almost $500 a month, right? And that's fine, like that's a beginning 2-year podcaster, I'm unknown, right? But the super chats that I get, those kind of add up too. But don't think about the money so much either, right? The money will come, but only if you decide to basically put your money where your mouth is. That's number one. And number two, you make good quality content, because that's going to be the begin all end all for your channel. You'll have a small base of people that will find you, right? But also another thing too, what we're doing right now, which is collaboration, right? When you collaborate with people, you open up the audience to everybody else who doesn't know your channel, right? Like I said, I knew a bunch of people before this, and I started to, gain their audiences. Their audience started to talk about me, whether it be positive or negative. So basically, if you follow those things, you'll be fine on YouTube long term, right? If you want to do it short term, get some quality equipment like what this guy has, right? And try to get some good looking women, which ain't bad. Make sure that you're chiseled. That's something. And then do something completely fucking stupid. All right. And you'll get hundreds upon thousands of views,
And that could maybe go viral. Who knows?
Who knows?
But growing from the get-go, so you started your channel, I noticed, the current channel, in the spring of 2020.
Yep.
That's been a little over 2 years. How did you grow your channel so far?
How did I grow my channel regarding like
subscribers and views?
Subscribers and views, just the videos that I've done, man. I think what's funny, again, collaborations, that's number one. And number two, the quality content that I do is just me just talking, right?
Yeah.
Just me. You get my commentary, whether you like me or not. Again, that's not the thing. The thing that I wanted is the discussion, right? So that's the thing that's always keeping people back. Or you might watch my channel once, and then you might sneak watch me again because you may not like me, but you still like my voice and you still like my content. You might hate me, but people hate watch you. And I'm like, damn, I hate this guy, but I'm still watching his content. He's garbage, but I'm still watching his content. That's what's been happening. A lot of people that don't like me been watching my content ever since.
How important are thumbnails?
Thumbnails are actually, they're semi-important. You got to make sure that your thumbnail is readable. You got to make sure that your thumbnail has what people are looking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, somebody's looking for like the DoorDash, I'll use the current video. People are looking for like the DoorDash video, and they're looking for, oh, this is the video in which I'm trying to watch, right? And if you put like, I don't know, maybe some random picture and stuff like that, no one's going to watch that, right? Because that's not what they came for. They came for the exact video in which is trending, right? So the thumbnail, although you can I've evolved with my thumbnails, and I might go back to my classic 2-picture thumbnail because that works, with a lot of people. They want to see your face reacting to the video that you're about to react to.
Yeah.
Because if you're a social commentary channel, you just, like your face, you're doing something, you're like, oh my God, it's a surprise reaction. And then the video in which you're about to react to, that's what, gets people like, okay, like, what the hell is this? What the hell is this video? So that's exactly what you kind of want,
Yeah. If you want to grow on YouTube, do you think it's important to focus in on a niche?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. I think more or less you want to make your own niche, right? You want to be the niche, right?
Niche. Do you say niche or niche?
I say niche. Everybody says
yeah.
niche. Everyone says niche for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
It's like tomato. But I think more or less you want to become the niche. And what's funny is that you kind of become the person in which you talk, like my monocle, man behind the mic. Don't pay it the Wizard of Oz, like pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. All right, pay no attention to me. Although people pay attention to the looks of my room and my look in general. Like, people have been hiking on my dreadlocks for God knows how long, and I still have them on me. But the thing is that, you know what, man? I mean, there's a niche of people that like, the type of topics that I talk about, right? If you are a freelance person that loves to talk about movies or likes to talk about the entertainment industry, that's something in which I'm about. I've talked about in detail, like the recent live stream that I did. It was about the Woman King and Black Panther, and I talked about how Hollywood will always have black money. And, that video is doing pretty well for a live stream. I've talked in detail about Hollywood, about Broadway, about the music industry, and I know people that are in that scenario that talk about the same thing. So I'm in cahoots with them,
How can someone successfully live stream on YouTube? What advice do you have to these creators?
So I stream using StreamYard. I'm about to evolve that to either OBS or Streamlabs. I would use Streamlabs, honestly, but my computer is a MacBook Air from 2010. So that has been running the podcast for God knows how long. Like, I'm just like, damn, you should be
Well, that's a workhorse.
yeah, that thing should be like exploding right now because of the amount of videos that it has to make and the amount of videos that it put out.
Damn,
but
2010.
Yeah, man, that's
amazing.
Yeah, man, it's been working, man. It's been working, but like, I got to get a new computer anyway. But now that's been the computer that's been holding me and the podcast down. And sometimes like, again, I got to give it a little break. But
and with live streaming, you were saying.
Yeah, with live streaming,
how to successfully live stream.
So to successfully live stream, I would say the first thing that I've learned about live streaming is that if you don't have an audience, what are you live streaming for, right? Because that's the thing in a nutshell. If you don't have an audience, like you can have 1,000 subscribers, but yet 5 people watching your shit. All right, 5 live viewers. That's pathetic. I hate to be the bearer of bad news on that one. You want to, with me, I have 5,000 subscribers, but the amount of people that actively watch my channel is like usually 20 to 30, and it goes up depending on what topic it is. I've seen a few hundred people in my live stream before. It's happened. It can happen again. All right. But I love the fact that I usually have 30 to 50 people watching me because it's not as much of a pressure. You don't understand, because the thing about it is that people, they want to have few hundred to a few thousand people watching them. You know how much pressure that is? That's a lot of pressure, right? It's like basically, you're putting on a Broadway show, all right? I've been, and I don't think people really understand that you won't be able to perform with 1,000 to 100, like 100 to a few thousand people watching you. Really, trust me. That's why you got to build yourself and your audience up, right? The main thing that I would say is that start with this, right? Start uploading, start getting that audience to you, and then what you then want to do is then start, gravitating towards live streaming. So, when you first start out, you'll just have maybe 5 to 10 people, which is usually the case. Then sometimes that number goes up. As you start to build your audience, it goes up. Okay, so when I was a few hundred subscribers in, 5 to 10 people, then those people grew 10 to 12. When I blew up, I'm not saying blew up, but when I had that surge last year, there were about 50 to 100 to 200 people watching my channel. And especially with the people that were blowing up with my channel, right?
Yeah.
So I had about 200, 300 people just like in my live stream, and they were subscribing like crazy, right? Now that it has died down, I get my normal viewers, which is about usually 20, 30, 50 people, right? Yeah. And it always depends on the topic, because again, the traffic that comes in, there are new people coming in. There's more people that are looking at the live stream. There are people that will always donate to the channel. There are people that donate to the Cash App. What matters really when it comes down to live streaming is you starting out, uploading videos first and then live streaming. Because if you just live stream, you're not going to get as many people.
Yeah, you need to build the audience first, and then you can go into live streaming.
Right.
what's next for you and the channel? What kind of content can we expect from Red Sings the Blues?
So basically, I've moved from, my basic, young men's content to social commentary. Again, I'm starting to get my studio up. So I will be moving out pretty soon and building my own studio.
That's exciting.
Yeah, man, it's very exciting for me. I do want to start making my hobby channels. So I want to start doing that. I do want to start, getting a building. I want to build 2 studios so that I can record like bands and stuff, like just independent bands and whatnot. I want to start doing that. The main goal for my podcast is, again, to start reaching the bigger people and start having those interviews and discussions, and hopefully, start collaborating with bigger people, man. Because, as a social commentary channel, I mean, there's only so much that I can do with my channel, just having the bigger discussions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that does sound exciting. And even what you mentioned about recording independent artists and bands in the future, that sounds really exciting too. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
man.
does.
Yeah, because I started thinking about, my YouTube, my YouTube career and stuff like that. I have my main career, my day job, but I also started thinking about the side hustle. You know what I'm saying? Because again, you got to have like multiple forms of income now in this economy.
You do. In the current day and age, you need multiple forms of revenue.
Yeah, that's just gonna have to be. I mean, you just can't rely on your like 401k and stuff like that. I wish you could, but I started thinking about, because I love playing music, I love being in bands and stuff like that. But again, I definitely want to start doing more of that. And because my friends have been in bands and stuff like that, might as well just start getting equipment and starting to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's time to start moving into like doing my own thing on YouTube.
Yeah, that does. That sounds exciting. Where can we find you on social media platforms? Red Sings the Blues. Let the audience know where we can find you. All platforms.
All right. So you can find me on Red Sings the Blues on YouTube. You just type in Red Sings, THE Blues on YouTube. You can do that. I'm also on Instagram, Sings Red Blue, at Sings Red Blue. That's how you can find me on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok or anywhere else, just Instagram and YouTube, man. That's it, pretty much.
I got you. Awesome. Be sure to check out Red Sings the Blues on YouTube and Instagram. Videos and clips are uploaded daily on the YouTube channel. Red Sings the Blues, the man behind the mic of Red Sings the Blues. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's been a fun thing, man.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Miltrick Media, and we will see you soon.